about this time?
James Russell, you hustling son of a...
It's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Jose.
Now look at me now. How far we go back? Elementary, jump rope, hide and go seek, pity pat, red light, green light, red light, green light.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. We talking about practice, man. But we talking about practice right now. We talking about practice.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
You are tuned into Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
That's right. You are tuning into Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Wednesday night, just past 9 p.m. We are coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and tuning in to this great show that we got tonight. We're going for an extra half hour tonight. Normally we do an hour. We're doing an hour and a half tonight. We got lots to talk about. Packed studio, which you guys are going to see here shortly as well. We got a guest joining us shortly as well on the video line. Weather's been very bipolar, Rob. Cold as heck the other day. Hot and windy. Now today it was warm, but then it got windy. I don't know what's going on. If you guys live out here in Las Vegas, you've been seeing the weather. It's been crazy. But we're indoors right now. It's nice. I can't complain. Rob's on his phone getting ready to chop it up, getting everything set up. Is your mic working, though? Let's see. 1, 2.
It's working.
Okay, we're good. Wait, let's see. Is it working again?
It's working.
Oh, no. And I got cut off. Okay. See, that's what happens when you mess with Quan.
Play these games in the studio.
But yeah, man, what's good, man? How you been? Everything good? How's your week going so far?
Everything's good. Excited for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Draft time, 5 o'clock.
Definitely.
Looking forward to it.
Lots to talk about with that, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Lots of
it's
ins and outs, trades. things
Any
going
channel, sports channel you put on right now that's not playing a live event is talking about the draft. So, and on the radio too.
ESPN, Fox Sports,
They're
NFL.
all-
That's
right.
all. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all you see all day, every day throughout the week here. With the draft leading up, like we said, lots to talk about there. What are certain teams going to do? What are certain players going to do once they get to the league? Where are some players going to land? Are some going to fall out of the first round? Are some going to fall out of the top 10 or even jump into the top 10? We'll talk about that and give you our thoughts, what we think might happen. Obviously, we're not analysts. We're not people that get paid for this. We're just going to chop it up and have a good time tonight. But we also have a special guest in the studio tonight. Finally, we're about to hit a year being sponsored by this gentleman right here. And we finally got him in studio. None other than Joshua LaFon. What's up, my man?
Hey.
Finally got you in studio. Greatly appreciate you coming in. How's it?
It's usually past my bedtime right now. So
That's why we don't get you in studio, because it's normally time to go to bed at that point.
Oh yeah, yep.
But what's good, man? You ready? You ready to chop it up? Come in here. I know you wanted to talk sports and you wanted to talk NFL draft for sure.
Yes,
you and
sir.
I chopped it up a few weeks ago, and that was one of the biggest things that was on your mind. And I convinced you to come in because that was the topic tonight.
Yep. That's what motivated me to come in, and I can't wait.
So you ready? I don't think you had to study, because the stuff you were telling me the other day, you already know your stuff.
Yeah.
I had to tell Rob, because if not, Rob's like, I'll just do it on the fly, bro. I'm watching soccer right now. I'm off. No, I'm just giving you all the time.
Yeah,
bro.
thanks for inviting me, having me come down. So I appreciate that.
Thank you for sponsoring us and for continue to keeping us on the air, man. We greatly appreciate you. And we'll just say it now, right? I mean, you and I talked about it. We'll go ahead and announce it. Josh has decided to keep us going, so we signed on with Josh again. Yep. The show must go on, and it will go on, so we greatly appreciate you for that. But he's already in studio, so we might as well go ahead and play the plug. Let everyone know what it is, who we're bringing us to you guys every single Wednesday night. Quan, if you could please go ahead and put that up once again, as we do every week. We are brought to you by Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, a realtor here to help educate current and future Las Vegas locals on selling and investing in real estate. You're probably asking yourself, educate. Yes, there's a surprising amount of adults that when it comes to real estate, don't know the right questions to ask, don't know where to start, and think they need a lot of cash to buy a house in Nevada, which simply isn't true. So Josh has decided to make it his responsibility to teach his clients what they need to know, and equally important, what they need to ask to help ensure making their home ownership dreams a true reality. So make sure you call or text Joshua LaFon today at 702-813-0533. This has been another paid advertisement from Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. make sure you give them a call, 702-813-0533. That's right. The gentleman is in the studio with us. We greatly appreciate him. He's a gentleman, no? Right?
No, of course.
Just saying.
No, I'm just saying that if I was Josh, I would want I Got Five on it playing in the back of my on the back of my hat every week.
Hey, trust me, he's got a lot more than 5 on it for
No,
sure.
I know.
That's for damn sure. That's why we on the radio and we still going. But not tonight, like I said, we are gonna go an extra half hour. We have a repeat sponsor, our personal barber, Eric Navarro, hooking us up as he does every single week. He did get a little. He got into a little fight with his son's dog, so he was out of commission for a bit. Rob gave him a hard time about that.
Changed barbers on him.
Changed barbers on him. And I even hit him up the other day. He's like, "Nah, bro, I think it's time for you to go ahead and go our separate ways and follow your boy Robbie." I'm like, "Oh, so you gonna give it to me too, right?" But Quan, if you could please put up that graphic as well. Eric Navarro hooked us up tonight with an extra half hour since we are going with NFL draft. We have a guest that's going to join us here shortly as well. So we need more time tonight. So Eric Navarro from Line 'Em Up by Eric, he's over there at 5 Star Barbershop. Make sure you go ahead and check him out. Hit him up for an appointment at 702-884-8138. He's on IG. Make sure you follow him. Line 'Em Up by Eric. He posts all of his haircuts and everything so you can see what he's doing. He is legit, hooking us up. And not only that, we got a surprise moving on in the future. I think Eric might be jumping on with us as well, which is cool. The more the merrier. Again, guys, I say this every single week and I continue to do so. Eric, thank you so much for jumping on with us tonight and sponsoring the show so we can get that extra half hour in. We greatly appreciate you. But again, guys, if you're watching this and you're seeing what we got here, again, I've said it again, I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. StraightBetSports@Outlook.com. If you have a business and you're trying to jump into this sponsor stuff, even if it's not about money, maybe you have a clothing line or some type of product that you're trying to promote or push, hit us up. We'll help you with it. We'll collab on something and we'll get it going. StraightBetSports@Outlook.com. Trust me, we got a lot that we can offer and a lot of things that we can give you and that we can hopefully get in return from you and make a good collaboration moving forward. But again, we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and of course, that's all brought to you by Gorilla Cross Radio. Check out their pages. That's where we stream live every single week. And of course, I share it on my page, Jose Volonte, on Facebook, and on the Straight Bet Sports page. If you haven't followed it yet, go ahead and do so. Straight Bet Sports on Facebook. We got Zach the intern in the studio as well. He's on all things social media. He's going to be answering your questions. Not only that, letting us know what it is that you got to say out there, whether it's an emotional outburst, whatever it may be, or you want to chime in on the draft or what we're going to talk about on tonight's show, feel free to do so. And of course, if you want to give us a call, 702-608-3259. Is that right? Did I get that right?
All of us are on our phones.
We hardly ever give out the number. That's why. 702-608-3259 is definitely the number. I'm going to be jumping on my phone as well because I got to shoot the link to someone here that's out in Miami so they can watch it. So before we jump into our first guest of the night, I want to go ahead and give a big shout out to my dad, Silvio Volonte. Today is his 81st birthday. He didn't want me to give him a call because he said that the age doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't count it. So I'm like, I wasn't going to call you today, but you're still my pops. So Pops, I love you, man. I hope you had a great day. I hope you enjoy it. You need to chill out and stop working so much. He's been retired, guys, for the last 10 years and will not stop working. It's amazing.
Happy birthday to Pops.
Appreciate that. Definitely, Pops. I know you love soccer and you watch soccer all the time. So I hope you enjoy our soccer conversation that we're going to have here shortly about the UEFA Champions League. But once again, Silvio Volonte, my dad, the one that brought me into this world. I greatly appreciate you. Happy birthday once again. I hope you had a great day. But guys, I hope you're ready. We're going to move on to our first guest here of the night. He is none other than race and sportsbook manager over at Rampart Casino, a very good friend of the show, and a very good friend of ours away from the show, none other than Duane Colucci. Duane, how's it going out there, my man?
It's doing well, guys. Living the dream in Las Vegas, ready for the draft, ready for the Derby. Busy week, I tell you the truth. I'm going out of my mind.
Especially for you. I mean, you're in the middle of it. You're in the betting action. You're where all the sports is happening. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot going on your plate right now.
Yeah, definitely. And with booking the Kentucky Derby again, it's becoming a sort of a pain in the butt. I really wish we could get this squabble done with Churchill Downs and give the public the product they want, the pari-mutuel product. Because what I'm speaking about, guys, now it's like I'm a bookmaker. It's me versus you, and I have to put set limits on payoffs, take certain bets, not take certain bets actually that I would normally take. So this is going to be another Kentucky Derby that's very unique. We are going to be carrying, though, a few more races this year, guys. We applied for all the graded races. And what I mean by that are the most prominent races on both Friday, the Kentucky Oaks card, and Saturday, the Kentucky Derby card. So we're going to be offering a lot more wagers and a lot more races than last year, whereas last year we just took the Oaks and the Derby. Oaks on Friday, Derby on Saturday. So, we're going to be taking a little more action. It's going to be a little different. I'm going to have to keep my eyes open. Not sure what the betting menu and the limits are going to be just yet, but we're formulating that with South Point, our sister property. I'll be down there with Mary tomorrow and the stadium technology guys, and we'll be setting that all up for the public.
So before we get into the horse racing and the seminar, obviously, that I definitely want to talk to you about, because there's a lot of people like myself that we're still novices. Like, we bet horses, but we don't know the ins and outs of it, and we want to get into it a lot more. So we'll definitely talk about that. But when it comes to basically everything that you got going on aside from the sports book and from the personal life, how's the podcast going? I've been meaning to ask you that. How's that going for you so far?
Yeah, let me tell you, the podcast is successful, Jose. The problem is it's been so busy. And when it rolled from Super Bowl into March Madness into now the first Saturday in May, and the different structure and the COVID and access to certain things, this year I've gotten off the ground the first 2 episodes, and they were really successful. I'm going to have the Kentucky Derby FM Reverse podcast. That'll be up tomorrow evening.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going forward with that. It's been successful. I get a lot of positive feedback. You know what it is, guys? Everybody has a podcast now. So,
Right.
My
So
podcast, what it is it's more unique because you don't see any bookies out there with a podcast.
Correct.
Even Jimmy Vaccaro, guys like that, they don't have their own singular podcast. And, my experience behind the counter for so many years, rubbing elbows with these legends and these guys that pioneers in the bookmaking industry, as well as what I've experienced back home in Brooklyn, in New York, in Queens, a lot of experience. And I like to share that with everybody. There's a lot of good stories on the FM Reverse podcast. And, always I try to give the bookmaker's point of view. And mostly the handicapping is from the horse side, because I'm a great, advocate of horse racing, and I grew up around that. So, that's very important to me. And I will give selections on major horse races and my opinion. But, for games and stuff like that, the NFL, sure, I'm going to give my professional opinion. But it's mostly great stories, experience, and what I see coming in and going around the Rampart and the South Point.
We are joined by Duane Colucci, Rampart Racing Sportsbook Manager here on Straight Bet Sports on the Guerrilla Cross Radio Network. Now, Duane, obviously, like I was talking about when it comes to the race, before we talk about the race itself and who's in it and things of that nature, let's talk about the seminar. Let's get into that part of it. You have something going on that I saw in the news as well. Congrats on that. That was awesome. You were on Fox 5. You just want to give you your kudos on that. Talk a little bit about the seminar and what you guys are going to touch on and how it works, especially for people that are, let's say, sports bettors, right, and are trying to get into the horse betting world and want to jump into it on a big race like this, because not everyone is just going to go into a regular track if they don't know anything, right? They want to jump into something big that is going to make them money or is going to be known, whether it's the Super Bowl or things of that nature. So talk a little bit about the seminar and what you got going on there at Rampart here in the next few days.
Yeah, the seminar is very important, Jose. I thank you again for plugging it and letting me speak about it. We bring in a professional handicapper, a great friend of mine for many years now, Bob Ike. His reputation is immense, guys, in Southern California. He actually picked 9 out of 9 winners, and that was in, I believe, one of the LA major papers he was writing for at that time. And to pick 9 winners, guys, I mean, that is just phenomenal. We know how much that pays on a football football parlay or a baseball parlay,
Oh, yeah.
let alone at a racetrack. So Bob has immense experience. We have it annually. This year, it's this Friday evening at 6 p.m. inside the Cascade Lounge at the fabulous Rampart Casino. Myself and Bob Ike. We give our professional opinion. We break down each and every entrant of the Kentucky Derby. We'll give out a few pick threes and other types of wagers as well for those guys who like to really get professional and try to make some real money out of this. So it's going to be a great time. Then at the conclusion of the seminar, guys, we have a drawing. We hope to have 20 entrants in the Kentucky Derby. That way we draw 20 names, and we go by post position. We'll start with post position 1, who would be Known Agenda.
Okay.
And you receive 20 win, place, and show on that horse, that if Known Agenda does win, you get the 20 win, place, and show, and it gets loaded onto your card in slot dollars. So it's just a great, great promotion, guys. We really enjoy it, and we have that usually at the end of seminars, but we switch it up. You know, we do a lot of different seminars for the Breeders' Cup, and if the Belmont Stakes, if there is a Triple Crown attempt, we'll be doing that as well. So the seminar has been very successful this year. Also, we're going to be streaming it on a YouTube channel as well as the Rampart Casino website. So for those of you out of state, that's really important. You know, we got to get that stream out there. We want to give everybody a chance to see the knowledge that Bob and I possess. And, we always want everybody to come out to the Rampart. I'm hoping, to see you guys and everybody. It's what it's all about is the walk-up business. And we have a fabulous race at Sportsbook, guys. You know that. So we're hoping to have a big crowd Friday evening as well as Saturday. So Kentucky Derby still a major event. I just wish we could get this contract, guys.
So you talked about the 20. You said 20 win play show. Did I hear that correctly for the contest?
Correct. What it is we will draw. There will be 20 horses in the race, Jose. So at the conclusion of the seminar, you get a drawing ticket when you walk in. You have to stay till the end. One drawing ticket per person.
Okay.
We will draw 20 names out of the drum, starting with post position 1. That would be the horse's Known Agenda. That's the name of the horse. You would get 20 win, place, and show on this horse. So now, if he does win the race, you get the value of the 20 win, the 20 place, and the 20 show, and we load that in free slot play on your card.
So my question, are you guys, so you're doing and you're also going based off of live odds? Because right now, a Known Agenda is 6-1. So obviously it's going to go based off of what the horse ends after the race for sure, right? And for those of you that don't know what win, play, show is, obviously, like we were talking about, basically win the race, come in second, or come in third. So if the horse wins the race, you're going to get all of those payouts depending on what it pays per every position. Rob knows a little bit about that because we messed around at the can
a little bit,
you know what I mean, with some long shots here and there. But that's pretty cool, even for someone that doesn't know that much about horse racing, right? Especially if you're just going to go join his seminar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the seminar is free, guys. So that's
Even
just
better.
a free perk. And think about it. What did Country House pay a couple of years ago? $90. So think about it. 20 to win on a horse that returns $90. That's $900 in free slot play. Then you get the place price and the show price. So just to come out to a seminar, there's chances to win $1,000+ in free slot play. So everybody's a winner who comes out to the Rampart. Then as well, if you make a $20 bet on Saturday, I'm going to give you a drawing ticket at the end of the Kentucky Derby race. If you're in-house, we're going to draw 5 prizes. 150 to the Hawthorne Grill will be the top prize.
Okay.
And I got a few, I believe the 4th and 5th prizes are Yeti coolers, real nice coolers.
Nice.
And also the 2nd and 3rd place prize will be comps to the Jade, our Asian fusion kitchen, as well as the Clubhouse Deli. But I will give choice on that. You know, it's just going to be a nominal dollar value for those comps. 150 at the Hawthorne being the top prize.
Okay.
So just make a $20 bet and you get a drawing ticket and a chance to win those 5 prizes. And here's another one, guys. Come out, make a $50 bet, and I'm going to buy you lunch at the Clubhouse Deli.
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
give you a voucher for either a burger and fries chicken fingers and fries or a hot dog and fries.
And the deli's good, Rob.
Yeah.
We've had it.
Yep.
So me and Rob can vouch for
I'm
the
interested now. Like,
Right.
when is this?
It's sad. And Duane, and tell people too, the best part about it, it's like sports betting. The odds may change, but what I mean by that, you can go to Rampart at 9 a.m, bet the Kentucky Derby and go home and not have to stay in the sports book the whole day, right? If you don't want to.
Correct. If you just want to be, social distanced, come in early. You'll be able to make your wages plenty of time before the races start. You could get comfortable, watch it at home. It's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. We all know that. The Kentucky Derby for years and years has been a major attraction here in Las Vegas. We're going to keep that going at the Rampart Casino. I'm all about booking the races and giving the crowd what they want. So, even though it's not pari-mutuel and we will have some of those cap payoffs, it's always a great time. And we're going to, flood you with $2 mint juleps too, guys.
Okay.
That's the drink of the Kentucky Derby. You saw me on Channel 5 make one of those. So,
I didn't see that. I got to see that. I gotta pull that up.
$2 mint juleps. You could definitely get a little buzz on, make your bets, go home, enjoy the race, safe, COVID-19. The Rampart's got it going on for the Kentucky Derby, I will tell you. And it starts Friday evening with that seminar. And it's very important to gain as much knowledge as you can, guys, on these horse races. Because like you said, Jose, the odds constantly change. It's a pari-mutuel pool. It's a lot different than making a bet on Kershaw, minus 240. You make the bet, you're locked in at that price. Sometimes, these odds get really astronomical if you're betting a long shot. And, you definitely want to be a part of this race, the Kentucky Derby. It's really exciting, and returning to the first Saturday in May this year. Quick turnaround because we just added in September.
Duane Colucci, race and sportsbook manager over at Rampart Casino, joining us here on Straight Bet Sports. Now, for those of you that don't understand some of the language of the verbiage, pari-mutuel or in-house, basically with horse racing, when you have a pari-mutuel, you're going through the actual track itself. As we're now, the book is booking that action. So what he means by cap is that, let's say, for example, a trifecta, meaning you choose 3 horses and it hits and it pays, and the track happens to pay $15,000, but the book's only going to cap at 10. You're going to lose that extra 5, but you know what you're getting yourself into when you're going to that book. And it's not their fault. It's like he said, they don't have the contract. They can't get it with Churchill Downs, so it is what it is at this point. Now, Duane, aside from the seminar, anything else you guys got coming up here soon at Rampart?
Yeah, well, definitely, the seminar is very important. We have the draft, we had all our props. We had to take them down. Remember, guys, 24 hours prior to the NFL draft. So we did have a bunch of NFL draft props. Also, we will have a follow-up seminar, guys. If there's a horse attempting to win the Triple Crown, meaning he wins Saturday and then he wins 2 weeks from them at Pimlico in the Preakness, we will have a seminar 3 weeks later prior to the Belmont Stakes where myself and Bob Ike will once again go over the field. And if there is an attempt to win a Triple Crown, we will have another seminar. So a lot of big things coming up at the Rampart. We have the playoffs of the NHL with the Golden Knights on an unbelievable
Best
run
team in the
right
league.
now, guys.
Best team in the league.
10 in a row.
Jose said it.
Dominated tonight. So it's going to be tough, I'll be honest with you.
So, Duane, let's talk about the race now. So, when it comes to horse racing, I'll give you my side of the story, how I view horse racing. So I haven't been to all the tracks in the world. I know you've been to a lot more tracks than I have. You've been around this game a lot more than I have. But the excitement of going to a track and watching a horse, especially on the paddock before the race, seeing them, knowing what they look like, what they might be feeling at that very moment, looking at the horse, seeing the jockey. Me in general, I look at everything. I look at the color combinations. I know you can call me crazy at that. I like to look at what the horse has done with that previous jockey. I like to see what the horse looks like at that point in time. I've been to Hollywood Park before it became SoFi Stadium. I've gone to Santa Anita as well. Previously, I was at Gulfstream, which to me is one of the most beautifulest tracks I've ever been to in the world. But now we're at the pinnacle, right? Kentucky Derby. Never been to Churchill Downs. Hopefully I can get there one day. Not sure if you've been there, but we also have history in a way being made, right? First black jockey since 2013, Kendrick Carmage, is going to be riding this week, right? Last year, we had an 8-1 long shot, an authentic go wire to wire with Bob Baffert. getting his third, I believe it was third win in the last 6 years or whatever it is. And if you know horse racing, or at least a little bit of it, Bob Baffert is the prince of horse racing, as they call him. The guy is unbelievable. He's got Velasquez running again this year on Medina Spirit. He's a 15-1 dog, a little bit more than he was last year. What are you looking to see in this race? Are we looking at another dog possibly? Or are we going to look at the favorite, Essential Quality, which is what everyone is betting on right now and everyone's talking about? Can you see this being a long shot type of race once again as it was last year? Or do we get the favorite coming in this year, Duane?
I tell you, Essential Quality, he's really got, the deck stacked in his favor just because of all the experience running the way he is, his running style. We hear the rumors about Mattress Mac putting down this big $2-3 million bet on this horse. So the horse's odds are going to be driven down so far that we're not going to, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to bet the horse. I think the horse is going to be overplayed, undervalued. So I'm going to look elsewhere. I mean, I like the second place finisher in that Bluegrass who ran against Essential Quality, Highly Motivated. I think Chad Brown is definitely the top trainer in the world right now.
Castellano on him.
Could definitely improve. Javier Castellano is just a top rider, and he's a big money rider, guys. If you're not familiar with Javi, from back in the days of Bobby Frankel and world champion horse Ghost Zapper he rode. So I really think that Highly Motivated has an upswing. His speed figures are tremendous, and I believe his morning line is in the 10 to 15
Yeah,
to
10 to 1
range.
right now,
Yeah. So definitely going to get some value with him. I like Known Agenda on the rail. Irad Ortiz, I mean, you saw what he could do at Gulfstream, Jose, firsthand. He's a beast. This guy is the top rider in the world. And, when you combine that with Todd Pletcher, one of the top 3-year-old trainers in the world, it's definitely a great combination there. So I think we could get a price in this Kentucky Derby. And like you said, when do you ever see Bob Baffert at such large odds? It seems like this was the odd man out, Medina Spirit. And then you saw some of his top contenders, especially Life is Good, who would have been odds on in this race, go down. So now you have to look at Baffert's other horses. He's just phenomenal, guys. So I could never throw out a Bob Baffert trained horse at this time of the year because he's so successful with the 3-year-olds, guys. So I definitely give him a slight chance. I don't think Essential Quality, he as favorable as he looks to the public, and he has that undefeated record. He's the world champion, 2-year-old champion, in America and in the world. I still think he's got his work cut out for him to just keep improving. Then you start to become one of the best horses ever, guys. So I think I'm going to take my chances. I like Highly Motivated. I like Known Agenda. I'm going to give this out probably, at the seminar. I'll give you different bets, but I'm going to probably suggest that you bet to win on this horse because I'm looking for that 10 to 12 to 1, $20 price. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. Jose, I think there's going to be an upset this year.
Whew, Duane calling it another upset. So it was upset last year, 8 to 1, and he went wire to wire.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It could be done. Now, my jockey, from when I like to bet and follow some of these jockeys, especially because he's a West Coast guy, I mean, at least the tracks that he's ran at, he used to run at Hollywood Park, Santa Anita, Del Mar, all that. I like Joel Rosario on Rock Your World. He's 5 to 1 right now. I think that's a solid price. Might end up changing, who knows, especially if Essential Quality gets all that money put in on him. What are you seeing here with that horse and that jockey? Do you see anything possible with Joel Rosario, or is this just not a race for this horse?
Jose, Joel is right there with Irad. I'll tell you the truth. They're having a fabulous competition this year. I'm glad you brought him up. And there's a little squabble with this horse because he was ridden by Umberto Rispoli, who is a top-notch rider in Southern California. And definitely no shame in switching to Joel Rosario, but just a little shock, in my opinion. I thought they would have stuck with Rispoli. But if you look in the past performances, he did ride this horse in his first career start. So, this is the stud from California. Tons of speed out of the John Sadler barn. Has done nothing wrong. You look at his speed figures. I'm looking at them right now. They are tremendous. He destroyed the field in the Santa Anita Derby, including Medina Spirit, guys. So definitely, Jose, one of my top 4 horses. I mentioned that on the Ron Flatter podcast today. We had the Kentucky Derby roundtable, myself, Chris Andrews, and Johnny Avello. I definitely had this horse in my top 4. I will use him in most of my trifectas and superfectas. And you have to definitely respect these combinations. Like I said, Joel is having a fabulous money season. He's riding his butt off, and definitely John Sadler. He's another one. I'll be honest. He's definitely a top trainer, especially in Southern Cal. But moving now, the horse, I want to see. He's one of the few horses, guys, that if you look at the past performances, he did not run as a 2-year-old. Keep that in mind, and he's only ran at Santa Anita as well. So he went from turf to dirt last time. It's going to be a little difficult when you don't have that 2-year-old experience, guys. But he's capable. Definitely in my top 4.
Once again, he is Duane Colucci, Rampart Racing Sportsbook Manager, joining us here on Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Jose V, Rob G, Quan59, Joshua LaFon, and Zach the Intern here in the studio. We got a packed studio tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my picks for the race, Duane. I want to know what your picks are, and I want to know why, because I might end up copying them because sometimes you're a lot better than I am.
He kind of just gave you them.
No. But overall, I want to see what he is going to bet. So I'm going to go ahead and give you I'm going to go with my long shot, which is not that much of a long shot, but he's not the favorite. I'm going to take Joel Rosario, okay? I think I'm going to put money on him to win the race outright. But my trifecta, I'm going to take the 1, and I'm going to key the 9 with the 15. That's my trifecta for the Kentucky Derby. I'm keying the 1, Known Agenda, with the 9, Hot Rod Charlie, and of course, Rock Your World, the 15 horse. That's my trifecta, Duane. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing a straight win on the 15, and then 1, key the 9 and the 15. What do you like in the race, and what are you going to bet on it?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to go with the 17, Highly Motivated. I'm going to bet the horse that I spoke about. I love Chad Brown. He's just one of the top trainers in the world, multiple Eclipse award-winning trainer. He's trained top-notch horses, and he definitely wants to put that Kentucky Derby accomplishment on his shelf. That's the one thing he hasn't accomplished just yet in his great training career. So I'm definitely going to bet him to win. I'm looking, like I said, for that 10-1. I bet you, though, guys, he'll be between 7 and 8-1 because I know how they bet Chad Brown horses. And, when he combines with Javier Castellano, that's a great combination. Jose, I like who you like as well. I'm going to use Known Agenda. I'm going to bet an exacta box, 1 and 17. Probably bet a trifecta box with the 1, the 14, 15, and 17. I can't throw out Essential Quality. As much as I want to beat him, and I know he's going to be about 2-3-1, it's so hard to bet on a horse that's going to be undervalued. So I'm going to definitely take a chance betting against him. And then I'll key Highly Motivated on top of those other 3 horses that I spoke about. And, if I could get some superfecta action, I would probably go a little deeper with a couple of other horses that we spoke about. Definitely Hot Rod Charlie, like you said, he's a buzz horse right now. That's the feel-good story horse, Jose. Everybody's buzzing about the owner. We know Doug O'Neill. He's won multiple Kentucky Derbies in the past, so he has a rich tradition as well. And the horse is definitely, coming into his own. But keep in mind that your guy, Rosario, chose to go to Rock Your World as opposed to him. So I definitely think that the 14 has a little better chance than him when you start to mix apples and oranges. So I would look at using him, but I'm going to use Midnight Bourbon probably in that 4 spot, just in superfectas.
Mike Smith?
And I'm talking about a superfecta wager is when you pick the top 4 horses, guys. That's first place, second place, third place, and fourth place.
Got that, Rob?
And that's a great payoff, guys. That's a great payoff. That's picking horses 1, 2, 3, and 4 in that order. And when you have a 20-horse field, that's a huge payoff, especially if I could get Highly Motivated into the winner's circle. But I'm definitely going to bet him, like I said. That's my horse for the Derby, and box the exacta with the 1, Known Agenda. Irad's going to be tough coming down the stretch, I'll be honest with you.
There you go. If you're betting the race, you heard it here first. If Duane gets it right and you didn't bet it, don't be upset because he's already giving you all the information that you need. But I want to go away from the horse racing, Duane, because I know you also had some bettors that came in to bet on the draft, and we want to get into that because we also want to get into some draft talk. But before we get away from this, I just want to throw a quick little note out there for people that don't know much about the Derby or horse racing in general. Right now, and I did mention that Kendrick Carmage is going to be the first jockey since 2013 that's a black jockey that's riding, right? Previous to him was Patrick Husbands back in 2006, Kevin Krieger in 2013, and Marlon St. Julian back in 2000. Now, before that, since 1875, which is when the Derby started, 15 of the first 28 races were won by black jockeys. Why do you think that it's so much different now, Duane, and we don't see as many black jockeys as there was when horse racing and when this big race came to be?
It's a puzzler. I'll be honest with you. They actually, they documented this, how, there's so few African-American jockeys. Now, when it comes to the Kentucky Derby, like you said, the first Kentucky Derby ever was won by an African-American jockey. And Kendrick Caramouche is one of the best jockeys in the world, guys. I've watched this kid, and now he's a man, actually, and he almost won the Aqueduct, which is the NYRA's premier winter meet. He almost won that winter meet, and for most of the meet, he was the leading rider, and he had a phenomenal meet. He gets the call from many, many top trainers. So I scratch my head. I just don't understand why back in the day it was something that African-American jockeys were very, prominent. And now there's so few. We spoke about this off air. I just don't understand. But, definitely Caramouche, he's standing with the big boys. He's got a chance. Every horse in the Kentucky Derby has a chance, guys.
Always,
so.
Yeah.
I definitely think he's a top-notch rider. It is a puzzler why there are not more African-American jockeys, but you do see a lot more of I want to say Southern Hemisphere riders, more from Puerto Rico, Panamanian, I should say. So Peru, we've had different riders from all over the world. It's not just an American colony. When you look at guys like Irad Ortiz, they're from different parts of the world, as opposed to, Tyler Gaffalione, who is one of the top American riders, Drayden Van Dyke, kids like that. So, it's definitely a melting pot, most riders. I just don't understand, Jose. I can't answer why there are not more African-American riders. But I will say the guys you mentioned, I remember St. Julian, Krieger was a beast. He rode Nyquist, Golden Sense, I believe he rode. Golden Sense, who was one of the top milers in the world. And these guys were very accomplished, and so is Kendrick. And I definitely think he has a chance in this field to get into the winner's circle.
Again, Duane, let everyone know real quick the seminar, what time, what date, so they can go ahead and check you out.
Yeah, the seminar is going to be great, guys. Come down to the Rampart, the Cascade Lounge, this Friday evening, 6 p.m. All are encouraged to attend. We're going to have perfect social distancing. You will be required to wear a mask inside the Cascade Lounge. Myself and Bob Ike, 6 p.m. It will be also on YouTube, as well as the Rampart Casino website, which I believe is the resort@summerlin.com. So myself and Bob Ike will be breaking it down, like I said, drawing after the conclusion of the seminar. And the seminar isn't that long, guys. I'll tell you the truth. We just go over the one race. Like I said, we'll give you some pick fours, some trifectas, some exactas. But definitely I encourage people to watch if you can attend, because there's a lot to learn if you're a novice. And definitely Bob will walk you step through step and step by step. I will as well. And it's definitely something to watch and absorb if you're a novice handicapper, as well as a professional handicapper, guys. And, Jose, you know how we do it at the Rampart. It's always a good turnout and always a good time.
Definitely. Make sure you check out Duane Friday if you want to get your Kentucky Derby knowledge ready for Saturday. Definitely go check them out. So, Duane, let's jump into the NFL talk here, NFL draft. I know the guys in here that don't know much about horse racing. They're happy we're going to start talking. I know they're probably happy we're going to start talking some NFL here. They were listening to a foreign language for a few minutes here, but let's talk about the NFL draft. This NFL draft this year is going to be very interesting because you have a lot of players that opted out the previous season, right? Big name players that were projected to go top 10, and some now, because they opted out, are projected to fall out of the first round. So with that being said, obviously we're in Vegas. People bet. You're at the book. You guys have lines. Talk a little bit about some of the options and some of the prop bets that you guys did have for the NFL draft. I know it's done now because you had to take it down 24 hours before, but talk about some of the stuff you did have up.
Well, you know what was the most popular, guys. What do we have here now in Las Vegas? The Raiders. So we definitely had to put up what is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders' first draft selection. That was one of our most popular draft propositions at the Rampart in the South Point. So, yeah, we had that up. We definitely know that this is I don't want to say that the quarterbacks are that great, guys, and that it's quarterback rich, but we have a lot of attention on the quarterbacks, especially at the top half of the draft. And you have to put up a total over under, quarterbacks picked in the first round. So we did have that option. We had different players, guys like J.C. Horn, Barmore, where they will finish in what draft position they will be, and you could bet over or under. We would set a number of what position we felt that they would be at the Rampart and South Point, and you guys could bet over under on certain players. And we had a ton of those players listed. I mean, from Fields to Pitts, I'm all these guys. So, it was a major attraction. It's not as big, guys, as I would say it could have been when it was scheduled here, because if the draft was in Las Vegas and held in Las Vegas, the handle would have been off the hook. But we still had an extensive menu at the Rampart and South Point for the public to dabble in, and they were biting on it. I'll tell you the truth. We started right off. Look at this, guys. Total number of offensive players drafted in the first round. Very interesting. 18.5. You could have bet over or under on that. I believe that closed at minus 125 on the over.
Really?
So then we had the defensive players, 13.5. Naturally, we brought that down because we had the offensive players with the prominence of the quarterbacks. I mean, look at it, guys. They're talking about, Lawrence Wilson and Mac Jones maybe going in the top 3. So the top 3 picks are probably going to be quarterbacks. So that's how, as bookmakers, we have to make the adjustment. And that's why we have less defensive players listed, 13.5. And I believe the under was smashed on that. I think we closed that at maybe minus 140. So, we did have a ton of players listed, guys. That Raider prop was a massive, massive handle prop. And I can't wait to see the draft and how it plays out.
What are you expecting? You expecting any surprises? Anything that you think might happen? I mean, we were talking about it earlier. You have the Atlanta Falcons sitting there, right? Right now, the Atlanta Falcons are sitting at number 4. And I want to get all your thoughts on this. You have a guy in Matt Ryan that has 2 years left on his contract, I believe, lots of money, but yet you don't have much left for him in weapons, right? Todd Gurley, not there, or at least not the guy that they thought he was going to be, right? You have Julio Jones, which now they're saying we're willing to take, phone calls and conversations about trading this guy. Yeah. If you're the Atlanta Falcons, I think you feel like you're in a great position right now, because you could either draft a quarterback if you want, because like we said, more than likely it's going to be Lawrence Wilson, which I hate that pick, and we'll talk about that here shortly, and probably Mac Jones going to the Niners, right? So if you're the Falcons, who do you take? You take Lance at that point, the dude from Dakota State.
Over Fields?
Falcons, not the Niners. That's what everybody's saying. That Jones. No, that's what you're saying, Quan. I'm just saying what from what it's out there, from what it's projected. I don't think he's a good fit there. I don't think he should go there. Mac Jones.
And with the Niners?
Yeah, with the Niners.
No, I don't like that.
But if you're Atlanta, you can draft a quarterback here, or if not, and you feel happy and you feel comfortable with Ryan, you take Pitts, in my opinion. Yeah. So what do you guys think? I mean, what are your thoughts on the Falcons and just any surprises in this draft? Who wants to go first here?
I'll go. Well, with Pitts, I mean, specifically with Pitts, he's basically a wide receiver playing tight end.
That's
right?
That's what he is.
That's exactly what he is. So if he were to lose maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20 pounds, I mean, he's gonna. He
could be a Calvin Johnson type body guy.
He can be a great wide receiver, and in the position that Atlanta is in, I personally would say I would trade the pick. They're committed to Matt Ryan, right? They're committed to him. I think his contract kind of dictates that too as well, because of how much money he's owed. I don't know who's going to want to, take that on and everything.
Correct.
Arthur Blank likes Matt Ryan, wants to keep him in the fold. So I would personally see I would listen. Obviously, they're probably listening to offers right now already. But if somebody comes to me with a decent offer, I would probably look to trade it, because if you're going to take a tight end and he's going to stay a tight end and you plan to use him as a tight end, it's what is he, the highest? It's going to be the highest drafted tight end ever. I think 5 was the
something like that. Yeah,
I think number 5 was maybe the highest drafted tight end ever. I don't remember who the player was, but if you're going to take you want to be remembered for that, to take the highest drafted tight end ever at number 4, and when you could have maybe picked up a couple, pieces, especially with Atlanta's defense. I mean, for like the last 6 or 7 years,
Atlanta needs help all the way
all
around.
over.
Josh
All
just
over.
said it.
Yeah,
Offensive line as well.
Yeah, Mike's been off for like a minute too. No, but
there we go.
What do you call it? They need help in so many more places than tight end. I mean, they still have Hayden Hurst, right? Are they looking to run the dual tight end setup? There's a lot of
Patriots type style?
right. There's a lot of what ifs in that situation. So I would personally be looking to trade that pick and probably build a better team around Matt Ryan and on the defensive side, versus just laying it all on number 4 on a tight end on top of it, right? On a tight end when you have a great tight end already. So
Yeah.
What do you think, Duane?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but it seems like all directions are talking about Pitts, and shopping Jones may be another sign of that as well. And sticking with Matt Ryan, he's getting long in the tooth, guys. I don't know if he has that skill that he used to have still. So I definitely think this is a team that fired their head coach in the middle of the season, got crushed by Dallas in a massive comeback. Like you said, Jose, Gurley is just not the same player. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. But I don't think that these quarterbacks, after Lawrence, I don't know how good these kids really are. I know Lawrence is the stud. I can't believe the Jets played themselves out of this kid. I would
Thanks for
just,
reminding me,
have to say, if they're feeling that this kid could be another Waller, maybe you go with the 2 tight end set, and maybe you keep Jones, and maybe you just have this awesome, passing attack. But that defense, really, there's question marks. You definitely have to improve that defense. They have to play, old school Falcon football, and they just did not do that last year. And that's a tough division, guys. So they're in a good position to trade, yes. But I don't think trading Jones is the answer, and I would probably not draft a quarterback in this position, because I just don't have faith that once you get to that 4th pick, guys, and I said I think there's going to be the top 3 picks are going to be quarterbacks. Who's going to be 4th? I mean, Jose, you're already saying you don't like Mac Jones, and he probably looked the best out of all these other guys that are remaining other than Lawrence. And I agree with you. I don't even know if the kid out of BYU, Wilson's going to be good. So
I don't like that.
I don't think he's proven.
Man.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stats, and he don't look too proven. So I would definitely have to stick with Pitts. I think that's the right move from Atlanta's, unless they could put together a real nice package deal and bring somebody in there that we're missing. But I think we covered all the bases here, guys. I would stick with Pitts.
What do you think, Josh?
Well, in my opinion, I believe all you guys are that's where I was headed. But if I was the Atlanta Falcons, I would definitely pick up Pitts.
Okay.
But I would switch him from tight end to wide receiver. And if you're going to shop,
try to convert him.
Yeah, convert him, because he runs a 40.
440.
Yeah,
440.
440. Yeah, tight end. So you keep him the same size, everything. Have him run deep, just like Calvin Johnson. Toss it up. His vertical was ridiculous. So yeah, that's exactly what I would do. And then if you're going to shop Jones, now is the time to do it, because he is getting older.
And you have Ridley. They got some good receivers that are young.
Yeah, and then
go ahead.
And then with Matt Ryan, you still have 2 years, but there's still decent or good quarterbacks that are going to be in the near draft in the next 1, 2, 3 years. So it's at least get someone to build to replace Jones young, and then get the quarterback to just toss it to him, and then build around that. At least at this point in time, in my opinion. So
obviously we know what pretty much the top 3 picks, like we said, might be. They might be quarterbacks, but I want to ask you one more question about the draft. what do you see being a surprise player? Maybe a player that people are talking about in the first round but might drop. There's people talking about Najee Harris, saying that he's a first-round draft pick. I don't think he is. I think he'll drop to the second round. Anything out there that just sticks out to you, Duane, that you've been looking at, or any player in general. Like I said earlier, some people sat out, some people played. What are you looking at if you've seen everything that's going on leading into this draft?
What I'm seeing is that Mac Jones's, stock has risen. We had opened him in draft position 9 on the total over/under, and now they're talking about him possibly going 3. So that's where we're seeing the overvalue on Mac Jones so far. I'm looking at our draft board and how we had it structured at the Rampart and South Point, but he's been the major attraction and the major talk. There's talk of him going possibly 3rd, and then Fields. I do that probably. I think they're both close.
Duane, we're losing you.
And when you're talking Justin Fields, hello, we had him set at 3.5. So we'll play out. I definitely most of the action on. Also, Surtain, is he going to drop all the way down in the Cowboys' lap? He's another guy that they're talking about. His stock has dropped a little bit, but I don't buy into all that, guys. Yeah. You never know what's going on in these GMs' heads.
True, very
Keep
true.
that in mind. You never know what's going on. You know what's going on right now with Jacksonville and the Jets, pretty much, but then you get right to the parity. The 49ers start the parity, and you start to see the unraveling. It's going to start with them. You're going to see, are they going to go with Fields? Are they going to go with Jones? Right there. So definitely there's guys that could drop way down the ladder. There's guys that could move up. We'll see how it goes.
Sorry, bro. I wasn't laughing at you. It's just Quan posted, I promise I'll shoot my TV screen if the Niners draft Mac Jones.
Hey, I'll tell you the truth. Quan, you might be shooting it. Just like Elvis, the old school days.
Dwayne, I promise, man. I'm going to need another TV screen. I don't know if you guys have any at Rampart that you can donate.
Hey, you can come down. I tell you the truth. I seen about 80, 65 inches in the basement. I'll see if I can grab you one.
Who do you want them to take? Who do you want them to take?
Anybody but Mac Jones. I'll take macaroni and cheese over Mac Jones.
I don't know.
I feel like Mac Jones is overrated.
Well, yeah. Well,
I want Fields, but if not Fields, Trey Lance.
Well, Duane, I know it's a little late, man. I know you got to be up early tomorrow because you got another thing going on. You're always busy. I totally understand that. So we're going to go ahead and let you go, my man. We greatly appreciate your time. We appreciate all the knowledge and everything you help us learn from you every single time we have you on the show. It's always a breath of fresh air to have you on because we feel like we're back at the book, but we're just talking with you, my man. So before we let you go, let everyone know where they can find you on all things social media and, of course, your podcast and everything else, my man.
Jose, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Very nice to join the show with Joshua as well. And
thank you.
Rob is the best. We know that. And Quan, you guys are awesome. I love this show. And you could find me. I'm easy to find on social media at MYBookie, DUANE, at MYBookie Duane on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram, on Facebook, and I do have a podcast. It's the Bookmakers Podcast, If and Reverse, and that is on all major platforms, guys. You can get it on Apple Podcasts. You could get it on Breaker, Spotify. It's on all of those. And, I really appreciate coming on the show. Social media is definitely a powerful tool now, guys. And the podcast, like I said, everybody's got a podcast. So mine is just, unique, like I said, because I will give you the action perspective of what's coming in bet-wise over the counter at the Rampart and South Point. Jose loves when I post those big tickets too,
for sure.
Never revealing our clients, but we always do like to post the large wagers that we are willing to take at the Rampart and South Point. When you're willing to take a large bet as a bookmaker, I know there's a lot of sharp guys out there and professional handicappers that enjoy seeing those big tickets and, watching those big bets and seeing where they could get a bet down. So that's why it's important. And I put most of those out on Twitter, on my Twitter feed. And thank you so much, guys. It was really a pleasure to join us. And come out and see me on Friday. Come out and see me at the Rampart and, mention this show, and I'll hook you guys up, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you.
There you go. Duane Colucci, Rampart Racing Sportsbook Manager. We greatly appreciate you, my man. Have yourself a blessed night and enjoy your weekend. Don't get too busy out there, all right?
Thank you, Jose. I'll try not to, but I'm going to be swamped and crushed these next 4 days. I'll be drinking a lot of scotch on Sunday evening.
There you go. We'll check you out, man. I'm definitely going to stop by, get my bet in, and head on to work, my man. Have a great night. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. You too. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff with Duane there. I know we got a lot into the horse racing stuff, guys, but now you know a little more about horse racing.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Now you can go put some money on some horses there and enjoy yourself. Now, we got another person in the studio, though, and we haven't heard from him at all tonight. He's supposed to be chiming in and letting us know what everybody's saying on social media, and I think he's upset because Quan didn't let him. Or no. I think he's upset because Quan called him out for not bringing McDonald's to everyone else in the studio.
No, that's not the case.
Then what's the case?
There's nobody talking, really.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
Looking at it?
It's all good, man. You good, though? You still hungry? I can smell the french fries in the back.
Oh, dude, I'm just chilling, just counting down the minutes.
He's counting down the time.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the
He thought
clock
it was
like
gonna be an hour.
my french fries, they're waiting.
Oh,
They're
we
waiting.
forgot to tell you we're doing an hour and a half tonight, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I've heard like the
I've heard it a few times already. All right, guys, let's chop it up, man. Let's talk NFL draft. That's why we brought Josh here tonight. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring
You
up.
go first.
Yeah,
Go
so
first.
I wanted to ask you, since you're a Jets fan.
Go ahead.
Who do you think they're taking second, and why do you disagree with Zach Wilson?
So I honestly think that they're going to go with Zach Wilson if we're going based off of what everyone is talking about, based off of the mock drafts and all of that. Granted, and I'm going to put up a little thing here shortly. I know Quan has it with Mel Kiper and all these guys. I don't like those guys. Okay,
Yeah.
I like Todd McShay. I think Todd McShay is straightforward. He doesn't sugarcoat stuff. If he's wrong, he's wrong, and that's it. As where Mel Kiper Jr. likes to basically give you everything in the world and say he's right and I'm going to quit my job, but yet he still has one and he's been wrong. So I think Zach Wilson is another guy that we had that one good year. You had that one good year, right? But it was also a COVID year. It wasn't a regular year. You didn't have the pressure of the fans. The travel wasn't as extensive as it was for BYU as it normally is. It was completely different. Not only that, previous 2 years, when it was a regular season with fans, no COVID issues, injuries, not the greatest quarterback overall. I don't like that. I want a guy that we know what he can do. And I'll go back to what Stephen A. said on ESPN the other day. I don't understand how a guy in Justin Fields went from being talked about as one of the top 2 quarterbacks in this draft to not even being a top 3 pick. That makes no sense to me. This guy did way more in his career in college that Zach Wilson ever did. Not only that, body frame, I like Justin Fields' body frame a lot better. His body of work overall, what he's done, like I said, I think is better. Not only that, you're a new coach in Robert Saleh. You don't bring in a guy like Zach Wilson that is probably going to be a project. I understand he probably has the build. He probably has the arm. He wowed people with a few throws in his pro day. But come on now. If you're a first-year coach, and you're trying to make a stamp, and you're trying to create something and create a culture with this team that, I'm sorry, has been horrible for a long time, and we just traded a quarterback that we could have kept to draft one of these good receivers and create something in the future, then no, I don't like Zach Wilson. I think Justin Fields should be the number 2 pick in this NFL draft. I'm not saying that because I'm a Jets fan. I'm just going based off of the body of work from what I have seen, from the tape that I have watched. I don't think Zach Wilson is going to pan out. Zach Wilson is going to be another Josh Rosen. People were high on this kid, thought he was great, but he had locker room issues, wasn't a leader, but they thought his body style, the way he threw the ball, it panned out to be an NFL quarterback. The guy's not even on the roster anymore. That's what I think Zach Wilson is going to be. You draft Zach Wilson, he will not be with the Jets in the next 3 years. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I could see Zach Wilson actually dropping down to the if he dropped down to the 49ers, he would actually be successful with this 49ers, just the way that they play with Garoppolo and all that. That's what I think. But if they take Mac Jones, like,
so you're a Niner
I think he's
fan.
overrated. Yeah. So what do you think?
So you're a Niner fan.
So my opinion on Zach Wilson is
he's
not a proven winner, right? He's not a proven winner. So I agree with you on that point. I think the stats don't help him out either, right? When it comes to playing top competition, he's like 0-2 never won against like a
Correct.
10-win team, and it's not only like he's never won, like his stats are just atrocious, right? they're just horrible. And when you put that into perspective, I mean, I think this situation with Zach Williams kind of reminds me, I don't want to say a lot like Joe Burrow, but it's more of a zero to hero, right? Where Joe Burrow was the same kind of setup where he had a really good year, won the national championship, and then was basically the number 1 draft pick, right?
But you're going from SEC to what is BYU, independent?
Right,
You know what I mean?
but that's how
Big
people are
difference.
treating him. You know what I mean? They're treating him where it's like he went from zero to hero, where you said 2 years ago he was really no one, and then he had a decent season during a COVID season, and now he's the number 2 draft pick in the
possible draft.
Or possible draft pick. I'm sorry, yeah, he's going to be possibly the number 2 draft pick in the NFL draft. So I think people are writing that this can possibly be like a Joe Burrow type situation a little bit too much, and I think he's overvalued. I think there's a lot more downside than upside for him, and as much as I say to that, I think that the scenario that he needs is more of a, like Josh said, a Niner situation where he knows he's gonna go sit for at least a couple years, minimum a year. It's already the plan. It's already set in stone that he's going to sit. So for him to go to the Jets, especially your team, and going to start, right? And 99% chance he's going to start. Yeah. That's going to be rough. That's a lot on his shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
And then when it comes to Mac Jones, like Duane said, they had him at what, under 9. Now we have him at top 3. I think that he knows that he's going to sit, right, which is great. I think the Niners did the right thing by saying whoever we take is not going to start. They're going to sit because typically maybe a top 5 quarterback would be looking to start for a team that drafts them that high. I think what they gave up though for either a Mac Jones or a Zach
for
Wilson,
a quarterback regardless at this point.
correct, but what they gave up for that, that's the one thing that's we're going to look back on this and either I know Lynch was involved with this as well, but we're going to look back at this trade in a few years, and it's going to really be a telltale for to see where the Niners franchise is really going, because they traded, just to move up the spots that they moved up and what they got rid of to either get a Mac Jones or a Zach Wilson. It can literally break the momentum that they've got going in the right direction. Now, I know last season we didn't have that great of a season. We had it was, I don't remember what we finished, but obviously we didn't make the playoffs. We didn't live up. We had that little Super Bowl hangover, even though we lost. Super Bowl hangover, didn't have a good season afterwards. But, we're still on the up and up, right? The Niners, they were plagued with injuries. Everyone knew that. They kind of let them ride that excuse, right? The Niners are plagued with injuries. They got a bunch of injuries. They are a way better team than what they're putting out on the field. And I think that this can really control our momentum or stop our momentum and put us going in the wrong direction if this trade and if this play of whoever we take doesn't work out, because it is the future. It is a third, you're going to look back and say, hey, I took, Mac Jones or Zach Wilson at 3 and it didn't pan out. That's going to be a huge blow to the Niners, future and everything, because who are you going to get after that, right? You're going to have to look to trade probably a quarterback at that point. So it's going to be, it's a huge move. And, I'm a Niners fan and I hope it plays out, but I feel like it was just a little bit too much to give up just to pick either up Zach Wilson. I mean, if it was to get Lawrence, all day, right? And I said it when we talked, I forgot who was on the show. I think it was Chris Wynn.
Okay.
When we talked about the draft, and I said it. I said, this draft is Trevor Lawrence or bust. It's Trevor Lawrence or bust. I don't really see anyone kind of being able to, live up to number 2 or number 3. So
don't you think it's kind of weird too, though? You just said Trevor Lawrence or bust. Normally, when we know that if there's a clear-cut number 1, he'd be signed by now.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Right. Oh, yeah, you'd sign before the
That's what I'm saying. And I think back to the Texans when they had Williams. Remember Williams when they drafted him?
Mario Williams.
He was signed 3 days before the draft.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's like, if is Jacksonville basically trying to screw around here, or is it clear-cut they're taking Lawrence?
It's clear-cut. I mean, it's clear-cut.
Why not sign the kid already then? Or at least talk about that offer if it's there. Or maybe they are and we're just not hearing about it. Who knows?
Maybe they are, but I think it kind of takes away a little bit from the draft too. If you know that person signed already, like it kind of, why even pay attention to the first pick of the draft? Exactly. You know what I mean? Like why even
just move on?
Right. Like we can miss the first 15 minutes because we know what's already going to happen. Yes, we kind of already do, but if he signs, then there's no what ifs if something crazy happens. I know that's not going to happen, but it just takes away that X factor. And I think we all know what's going to happen. Urban Meyer, first year coach. first year NFL coach on top of that, right? They got a good kid coming in. I think, you know, they're gonna build off of this. They're gonna build off of this. I know you don't like Urban Meyer because, you know, you went off on him one time, you know, one show at the end, but I think he's gonna.
Hasn't changed.
I know, I agree, but I still think he's in a perfect situation right here, right? Taking over the Jags with an owner that's got more money than, you know, who knows, than a lot of owners, right?
He's in a perfect situation to fail.
Yep.
Which is what I want to see. Which is what I want to see.
Because if you fall off of that in that perfect situation, like everything's falling, you know, everything's playing in your favor, and you mess that up, then that's even, I think, worse than just either not, than succeeding and possibly, you know, taking this team to maybe a 7 or 8 win, you know, season this year.
So Rob, back to the Niners really quick. So you didn't like the trade at all?
I didn't like the trade, especially.
I loved it.
Well, if it was for Zach Wilson, I'd say okay. But I'm kind of on the same train with Quan. With like, I don't like Mac Jones. I think he's overrated. I do like.
Do you remember though? He did have the highest completion percentage in the history of college football this year. He broke the record. I think it was like 77.8%.
But look who his wide receivers were.
Correct. I was about to get to that. 100%. When you got Devontae Smith and Waddle before he got hurt. I mean, and Najee Harris in the backfield. I mean,
you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of LSU when Joe Burrow was back there. He was sitting back there all day, and he had
Jefferson, Chase.
Oh man,
I mean, just
great receivers. He had Randy Moss' son.
Yeah.
Thaddeus Moss, and he had a great line. So he barely got touched, and that's the same thing with Mac Jones. He had a great line, great receivers. You know what more can you ask for? So that's why I in my opinion, that's why I think he's overrated because of what was surrounding him in college. You know, so
not only that, I mean, I'm sorry, and I've said it, and I'll say it, and I'll continue to say it until I get proven wrong. Alabama quarterbacks don't pan out. The last one to do so was New York Jets. Joe Willie Namath. Aside from that, Alabama quarterbacks don't pan out in the NFL.
You gotta watch out for Tua.
The Jets have even drafted one. They drafted Greg McElroy a while back, and Greg McElroy did good. He did good in Alabama when he was at Alabama. I think he won a national championship, as a matter of fact. Yeah. But I think one of the best scenarios right now, too, though, if you think about this, Cincinnati Bengals, they're sitting there at 5, right? So obviously, 1 quarterback, 2 quarterback, 3 quarterback, 4. Probably going to go quarterback, if not tight end, we're probably going to be Pitts, right? Or if not, maybe they get somebody like the guy from Oregon to solidify their offensive line.
Yep. Or Micah Pearson, which is the linebacker. So,
but you want Joe Burrow to succeed, right?
Yep.
I think you and I think I mentioned it with you earlier.
Possibly.
If you're the Cincinnati Bengals, how are you not looking at Jamar Chase right now?
Oh,
I think it's a bad move.
How are you not looking at him?
I think so too, but I like it.
It's a bad move. Look, I mean,
because he sat out a year, or just because of the fact that he played with Burrow, so you don't want that.
I know Burrows is advocating for Chase. Obviously, it makes sense, right? They both play together. They have that connection.
They won a championship together,
right? They have that connection, but I think if you're the Bengals and you're going off of what your quarterback is telling you at this point to get a wide receiver, I think you're not doing the right thing. You need to look at your organization as a whole, and you need to protect Joe Burrow. And when you can get an offensive tackle that good in Sewell, however you say his last name, you take him.
And he sat out a year, so he's healthy too.
And you don't pass up on that. And so if they're going to be the Bengals of old, they might as well go with Jamar Chase and go down that road. and hopefully he doesn't pan out to be another AJ Green and have turf toe every, by week 7.
So basically you're saying that if they draft Chase, we're just going to get another Andy Dalton, Andy Green type of thing where they might have a bit of success, but it's not going to turn into anything.
And that team that you're talking about right now had a decent defense too, right? They had a decent defense. They had Bonte, I think Burfict was, I think he was part of that.
Pac-Man Jones was on that.
Towards the end.
Before he got in trouble at bars.
They had decent defense, and the way that he got hurt against Washington last year, right? Whose defense, I don't want to say they came out of nowhere, but they ended up being one of the best defenses in the league.
Young, bro, he's
a monster. Yeah. And in this situation, what you're going to be playing up against in the NFL, I think you have to take an offensive tackle to protect him, especially the way that Joe Burrow got hurt on getting sacked.
I agree.
So you got to protect him. You're right there.
Zach's falling asleep on the chair.
No, I'm just looking at the chat. Bro.
Let him do his job. Leave him
Yeah,
alone.
exactly.
I got your back. I got your back, bro.
Thank
But,
you, thank you.
You got to take your tackle. You don't go for the 1-2
run.
connection, the home run hitter, right? Who can only hit home runs because Colin Cowherd always says this is that wide receivers, they're not they're not everything, right? They're not. You can they're a dime a dozen, to be honest with you.
You can create a wide receiver.
Yeah, you can create a wide receiver. They're a dime a dozen. Offensive tackles are not. And so to find one, that good.
And there's two good ones in this draft.
Yeah,
the
there's
dude from
two.
Northwestern and the dude from Oregon.
Yeah,
They're both good.
Slater, right?
Yeah.
Slater. So to get him, I would totally. I think if they go with Jamar Chase, they're gonna basically be the Bengals of old.
Yep.
They're not headed in the right direction, which currently they are. They are headed in the right direction. It's going to be interesting to see how Joe Burrow bounces back from this injury as well.
Yeah.
But you got to take the OT, the offensive tackle in this situation. You have to, hands down. If they
Because
go
if
with
you
Jamar
think
Chase,
That's a smart move.
Not only that,
That's the smart move.
it's
not
the
only
safe
that,
move.
Joe
Yeah.
Burrow was slinging it last year.
Yeah,
before
no,
he
he
got
was.
hurt.
Yeah.
And he didn't really have much to work with.
They have T. Higgins. They got,
But that's what I'm saying. If you look at the overall the players that they have, right? The talent wise that they have on that team, then I agree with you. You go for offensive tackle. You want to take care of your future. You want to solidify this quarterback position and make sure that this guy is your future because that's why you drafted him with the number 1 pick.
Right.
Then yes, you've already seen what he can do without much talent. So therefore, you said it. You can create that talent. Quarterbacks can be created. Receivers can be created. So
go out and trade for Julio Jones. You know what I mean? Do something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they
That's
do
true.
draft Jamar Chase, though. Let's be real.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went
Just to
that
make
route.
Joe Burrow happy and
that's
not
what
make the
sucks.
organization happy.
Yeah.
Like that's, yeah.
You got to protect your quarterback all times.
So another one too, man. The Dolphins traded back 6 spots with the Eagles earlier today. So now the Dolphins are going down to the 12th spot.
Wait, they traded back?
Yeah.
No, wait, what?
I thought it was that. Wasn't that what it was?
No.
That happened right after
Yeah,
the Niners.
so it was
my
the
bad.
Niners at 12, and then it was the Eagles traded the Dolphins down or up to number 6.
Correct. That happened when the Niners trade happened.
Yeah,
though.
same day. It was like hours after.
Yeah,
it was
hours after.
crazy.
So I saw something else today. I must have been wrong then.
So yeah, you got Miami at 6.
You got Miami at 6.
Go, Josh.
Oh man,
They're not going to draft a quarterback. We know.
No. I'm hoping that if Pitts drops, grab Pitts because I think you should take him out. Like I was saying with the Falcons, take him out of that tight end position because we can have Gesicki, and yeah, we can have 2 powerhouse.
Oh, you're a Dolphin fan. I
Yeah,
forgot about
yeah.
that.
That's why I said, Josh, go.
Yeah, but like I pull him
Brought me
out.
back. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, that's why I put him in wide receiver, and you could give Tua someone big to throw to. They don't need an offensive line. They just traded for DJ Fluker with the Ravens. So they're building the pieces, with trades and free agency. So they're gonna go with a playmaker. Now,
If Pitts is not there,
if Pitts isn't there,
Devontae Smith.
it
you
has
gotta
to
go Devontae Smith.
Either
No.
him or Waddle.
no Chase. Have to go with Chase. I like Chase.
You know what? In this and okay, you know what? In that scenario, yes, better offensive line.
Yeah.
You want to give him more playmaker. I can see that.
I'm not sold on Devontae Smith. Like I watch highlights and everything, and I'm like, this guy's good, but I'm
Small
still
guy,
not-
5'11".
That's why.
5'11", I think.
No,
is?
he
There's
came in at
6'1",
6'1".
175.
He came in at 6, a little bit bigger than 6 foot, but under 6'1".
Jamar Chase, 6 foot, 208. I like that 208.
Yes, and
I
then
mean,
the 6'2".
No, it says 6.
Oh,
I don't know what he came in at. Maybe I don't know how that. I didn't.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think he had the best vertical as well.
I may retract my statement of saying you got to take Devontae. I like Jamar. I totally got
I like
Jamar
Chase.
Chase.
He's like Jamar
Going to the
Chase.
Bengals and not going to the Bengals. I'm sorry. If Jamar
So
Chase
yeah,
is there,
if
I think
Jamar Chase is there, I
Yeah,
think you take
yeah.
him over
I think you
Devontae.
take
You
him.
can't let the Heisman Trophy blind you.
And I think
get it,
if
but you can't let it.
Devontae's a great college player. I don't know
Yeah.
if he's going to really pan out to be a great NFL player.
you know who he reminds me of is Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun, oh yeah, like a slot player,
Okay.
right? Like
Yeah.
a slot player,
Well,
like
he-
a go
he-
route.
Like his first 5 years with Vic, with the Eagles or not with Vic, but with the Eagles, he was always playing on the side and he was just long.
Gunner,
Yeah.
punt returner,
Yeah, punt
right?
returner,
Kickoff
yep.
returner, all that stuff like that.
When you want to talk about kickoff or punt returners, the dude Tony from Florida, 5'11", dude small, Ladarius Tony. He's small, but this guy reminds me of Percy Harvin.
Is that the guy that ran 4.2?
I don't know what he ran in that. I
Oh.
don't know, but he's a small guy, but yet you can play him out of the backfield. He's like that Swiss Army knife type of player.
Yeah.
But it's also durability with these small guys.
But
you know what I mean?
you
That's
got to
the
pick him
problem.
up around like the second or third
Oh
round.
yeah,
you know?
Tony won't be a first round pick. I don't
No.
think that. But I'm just saying, like, there's those type of players out there. Like,
But so I'm gonna go and say this bold statement. So if Pitts and Jamar Chase isn't there, Dolphins are trading.
ooh,
Wow,
who do they trade with at that point?
that's a tough question.
There's a lot of people that you could trade with.
So we haven't even talked. I mean, I know we haven't even talked about Trey Lance. Like,
I'm sorry. I'll be honest with you. I
Juan
looked,
said he would take Trey Lance
I
over
looked
Mac
up film.
Jones.
I looked up film on the kid, and I'm sorry. Based off of the competition you played and who you played, I'm sorry. They played trash teams. You look at some of these plays on how wide open some of these receivers were and all that. He didn't do much.
I didn't like his pro day either.
I'll be honest with you. He's got the mobility. We see that. You know what I mean? He's got a little bit of an arm. But I'm sorry, when you're playing with that type of competition where your receivers are burning the cornerbacks like it's nothing, I'm sorry. I don't see much talent there in the kid. I don't know how he went projected even higher than a guy like Justin Fields now. That just makes no sense to me. I think it's overhyped.
Yeah.
I think he drops out of the top 10. I don't think he
I think
gets
so.
drafted top 10. Call me crazy. I could even see him going somewhere
in the second.
No, I'm not going to say second, but if he's there at 15, I can see the Patriots trying to snag him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Patriots.
That's a place where I can see him possibly going.
And that's another thing is if he does drop, if one quarterback does drop, I could see the Patriots dropping down to 6 to like just solidify that.
I could see the Patriots. Well, what are they, 7th?
7th. They are 15th.
15th.
Oh, okay. Maybe they trade up. I could see the Patriots trading up. I mean, they're already talking about Belichick and, how long is the leash?
Yeah.
Right? And
I can see Mac Jones if he drops 2-6, Patriots are going in because he likes Mac Jones because Belichick and the coach, they're
if Mac Jones,
him and Saban.
I'll say this here:
Yeah,
if Mac
Saban.
Jones happens to fall to 15, I bet you anything the Patriots
Oh,
snag
yeah.
him.
Oh, absolutely.
They
All day.
snag
You
him
have to.
100%.
There's no way he falls that low, though.
Hey, he wasn't projected to be this high to begin with, so anything is possible. Look
Any
at
team before
Aaron
them,
Rodgers,
though?
bro. Remember Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers dipped in the draft.
And I don't see any other teams after the Falcons taking a quarterback all the way until what?
Hey, the Panthers just traded up. They traded Teddy
England.
Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Think about that as well. I know they traded for Sam Darnold, but yet Sam Darnold's also a project.
He
We
is.
don't know if that's the type of project that Matt Rule wants in Carolina, but don't sleep
That's
on them
true.
possibly even taking Lance.
Panthers, yep.
Don't sleep on them even possibly taking that kid.
That's
You
true.
never know. You know what I mean? He could be a project. Maybe they have Sam start for a bit and
Yep.
see what this kid could do holding a clipboard. I mean, that's the thing, man. Too many of these guys are getting these jobs too quick. And we'll go back to the Denver trade. Drew Lock. It's basically Drew Lock is gone. I'm a big Drew Lock guy. You know, I've been harping forever.
I think he did pretty good. He wasn't consistent on like certain games, but in some games he was locked in, and
the
I
problem-
hated it because he always killed my cards.
But the problem with him is that same thing. He got thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
These kids get
Yeah.
drafted into the bad situations where it's like, you got a coach that's on the hot seat or something. You're coming in. You got to
Yep.
save my job. It's like, no, man. These young kids, unless you got a team that's plug and play and you're ready to go and you're like that number one guy like Joe Burrow, then you should be holding a clipboard for a few years.
Yep,
Now,
yep.
I think Drew Lock can still go somewhere, learn from someone, whether it's a good vet, good situation, but you got to go to the right spot.
Yeah.
You know, and call me crazy. He could even go to New England and learn
That would
there.
be-
You know what I
wow.
mean? But there's different things that can happen, but too many of these young kids coming out of college are getting thrown into the fire, and I don't like
Yep.
it. Clipboards are not a bad thing. Look at Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game, already won a Super Bowl, played behind one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, and held the clipboard for a few years, and he's still killing it. So
Yeah.
holding a clipboard is not a bad thing, in my opinion. I think it's good for these kids to learn and especially move forward in their career, because a lot of these kids don't make it. Look at, again, Josh Rosen. This guy was such a huge guy talked about. He literally went from starter to out of the league.
Look at Matt Leinart. Same thing.
Exactly. He's a good analyst now. I give him that.
Yeah, yeah.
But some guys just aren't fit for
No,
the league. You
they're
know what
not.
I mean? Now, Lions. See Win if he's chiming in and he's watching. What do the Lions do, guys? What is it?
Linebacker.
Linebacker? Solidify the linebacker spot?
Build the defense even more.
You have to, right?
Yeah.
Because they score. Obviously, Matt Stafford's not there no more, so we
No.
don't know
You
what the
got Jared
offense is going to
Goff.
be like. But if that offense continues to score the way that they did in the past,
Mm-hmm.
they need to stop giving up that many points. So I
Yep.
agree with you. You either go
That
with
or Surtain.
Or Surtain, yes.
Yes.
Now, if Surtain doesn't get picked there, a lot of people are saying he's going to fall to the Cowboys. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, you need to draft defense.
Yeah,
especially after the most injured guy in your history retired, Sean Lee.
Well, so if you're, I was about to say that. So since he retired, who do you go with? You go with linebacker, you go with corner. Like where do you go at that position if you're the Cowboys?
I think you go corner because I think you can create a linebacker, as crazy as that sounds. I think you can work with a more mediocre linebacker than you can getting burned on the outside. Does that make sense?
That's true, yeah.
But that's just me. What do you think, Rob?
I think they gotta go wide receiver. I think they gotta
wide receiver
again.
Nah,
you got CeeDee Lamb last year.
No, what?
Yeah, they got CeeDee Lamb.
We're talking about the Cowboys.
Oh, you're talking about the Cowboys. Sorry,
talking about the Lions.
I'm sorry. I'm reading my stats. I'm stuck on the Lions.
Okay, so if you're the Lions, what do you do?
I think you gotta go receiver if you're them. I think if what's his name, Waddle.
Oh yeah, Waddle's.
Okay, so let's say Waddle and Smith are sitting there. They're sitting there at 7, and you are gonna take a wide receiver.
I just don't like Devontae Smith's body style. You know, like I think he's a great college player. I think he needs to gain some muscle. He needs to, you know, he's gonna be like a gunner, right? Like Josh said, like a Deshaun Jackson. But is that really a wide receiver, or is that somebody that you're just gonna send on the go and hopefully that, you know, their defensive player that's covering them gets burned, right? But you're talking about taking those hits in the middle, right? Doing those cross routes and stuff like that. I think Waddle's going to be your better pick than going, because if Devontae, I feel like if Devontae Smith gets cracked once, it can possibly be over.
And not only that, you're playing on, not only that, if he gets drafted there, you're going to play in a dome half of the season, so you're playing on artificial turf. You get cracked, you get hit, you fall. Those hits are a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
that
absolutely.
padding on your knees is not the same as regular grass.
Yep.
So definitely. But what about the other one we talked about? Cowboys.
Would you say linebacker?
I said linebacker, corner.
I
mean, like Surtain in that situation. I really do.
I say go quarterback. I say go quarterback. Just Dak coming off with the injury,
and then they paid him. They paid the man.
He got his money, bro.
I'm not saying they're going to go with a quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but it's not too far fetched, right, to say quarterback. But I agree with Josh. You got to go defense, right? I won't even say a specific position, but I think you got to go defense. You know, Ezekiel's obviously still there. Most, you know, CD's there. All those players are still there. I think you definitely, if you're the Cowboys, you want to go defense. So you know, depending on it all depends too how their schedule comes out. I wish the schedule maybe comes out before the draft, but I mean, you know who you're going to play. Don't get me wrong. You just don't know times and dates and stuff like that. But I think you definitely got to go defense if you're the Cowboys.
So guys, we got about 9 minutes here left on the show tonight. It's been fun, but time flies when you're having fun. You're tuning to Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. So check this out, guys. Final thought on this NFL draft. Quick, 15 seconds. Just tell me, when it's all said and done, who is the guy that we're going to talk about and remember this NFL draft?
So I'll go first. So in my opinion, this draft, I'll just go based off of the whole draft. So I think it's going to be crazy. I think there's going to be a ton more trades than what you normally expect. And there's going to be some people dropping you know, out of the, you know, top 10, you know, top 15, that's where they're supposed to be. So I think it's going to be a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. Can't wait.
Rob?
Well, you didn't really answer the question, Josh.
No, I didn't.
He asked for a player.
I don't know.
I don't know. So I'll say somebody, you know, maybe like a sleeper, right? You talk about a sleeper, Cinderella story, maybe. I'm gonna go with Justin Fields. Justin Fields. Excuse me, Josh Fields. Justin Fields. I hope maybe the Niners look at him, you know, because I don't want Mac Jones either. So I mean, we didn't even talk a little bit more. We didn't even talk that much about Justin Fields, but I think whoever he ends up with, you know, the one I'm reading here has him going to the Broncos, right? I think whoever he ends up with, he's a great player. He's a proven winner. He's coming off a rough injury, obviously, in the national championship game, or at the semifinal. I'm sorry, he played through it and all that. I look at him to kind of be maybe someone that, you know, other than Trevor Lawrence, right? We're going to go other than Trevor Lawrence. I think that he ends up surprising everyone, and a lot of people end up kicking themselves about not taking him earlier than what he's going to go.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I agree. When it's all said and done, I think that the best quarterback that's going to come out of this draft, when we talk about this down the road
over Trevor Lawrence,
future, I think he's going to be the better quarterback overall. I think he's going to accomplish more in his career, but also all depending on the situation and where he gets drafted.
Correct.
That's correct. That's the biggest if, guys. But let's go ahead and move on real quick. We got a couple more minutes here. Talk some MMA, talk some boxing in a way.
Okay.
Got some announcements that happened, obviously, the last couple days. If you guys saw the fight on Saturday, Usman rocked Jorge Masvidal. Yes, I was wrong. I had Jorge Masvidal. First time I believe he gets knocked out in his career. Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, you got to give him credit. The way he came out, he lost. He lost like a champ. You know what I mean? No excuses, no nothing. The trash talk before the fight was what it was. If you guys saw the event, Jake Paul was live. He got booed. It was 15,000 plus fans, I believe, or whatever it was. So it's great to see more fans. You know, our local newspaper here decided to, post some stuff that just makes no sense, trying to get some clicks, some likes. You know what I mean? And Dana White let it be known. He said what he said, and basically let the RJ know, hey, don't show up in July, right? When Connor's here and the big fight is going on. So
he did address it to the media afterwards.
I saw that too.
And said that I didn't say Adam Hill's name, even though Adam Hill wrote the article.
I didn't say his name.
But you did on my Facebook post.
I'm there. I did.
But he did address that, saying it wasn't him. He knows there's editors and all that stuff. But maybe he talks to Adam Hill, and if Adam Hill directly put that and wanted that there in the article, maybe he doesn't let Adam Hill come through. But knowing Dana White, he throws a fit for a week or two. I promise.
So true.
I promise I'll see.
True.
I promise I'll see the RJ in the media room July 16th.
So I'll say it right here, and I'll say it straight and clear. If this person is watching or isn't, I know Adam Hill. I know the type of person that he is. I've seen him in person. I've talked to him. I've been around groups that he's been with. I'm pretty sure. I'm probably about 101% sure it was his idea to put that in there. I understand what Dana White is saying. There's editors and that are pushing you, that try to get likes and clicks and all that. But knowing Adam Hill, knowing the type of person that he is, that was his idea. There was I don't think anybody else behind that but him. He wanted to do that. He wanted to see what people were going to say. He wanted to get the attention. He likes the attention. And that's all it was. And I get it. Like Dana White said, I'm not going to call people out by name, but, everybody here likes Adam Hill or talks to him like he was saying in the press conference. I get that. But I think it was Adam Hill. That's just my opinion. And at the end of the day, I know you want to get clips and you want to get likes.
He'll still be back.
Of course. Like you said, Dana White's mad for a little bit. He'll let it go. It'll be all over with, and we'll see him back in there, doing his stuff. But Jake Paul's brother, Logan Paul, finally came announced that he's going to fight Mayweather on the 6th, June 6th at Hard Rock.
I don't know why they don't do it in Allegiant. I mean, well, it is kind of soon, I guess. Is it this June?
It's in Miami.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot more fans.
Yeah, it's 100% in Miami already, so they could already sell tickets. Here,
you don't know.
We're June 1st, they're saying, but it's not solidified, kind of like how it is in Miami.
And here's the thing. They don't know what gloves they're going to wear. They don't know how many rounds. They don't know what the stipulations are going to be. We know it's an exhibition.
I heard the weight is going to be like 30 pounds off, but it's just rumors. I think it was like 190 for Logan and then 160 for Mayweather. But I don't know if that's
whoever
true
buys it. Let me know. I'm coming over. I'll watch it.
We don't need to stream TV. Got you. Anyways, I'm okay with all this YouTube stars, this, that, whatever it may be, because it's bringing more awareness to it. And I think it's a circus on some of the other stuff that they do. But once they're in the ring and they're fighting, you have to give them the credit. They still trained.
Yep.
They still got in there and fought, whether it's with a boxer or a YouTube star, whatever it may be. Now, Usman came out and said that he's willing to fight and he's willing to knock out Jake Paul. I would love to see that because Jake Paul needs to be shut up.
Yes.
I want to see him fight a real boxer. Fury's brother came out and said, I'll fight you, but yet he doesn't want to respond to that. Come on, man. Fight a real boxer and get it over with. But
bring out Ricky Hatton or something.
Bring out Ricky Hatton
or something.
Do you know if they're going to put that on like HBO, Showtime, or
Showtime?
Oh, Showtime.
Oh, on Showtime. Okay. I was hoping it wasn't going to be on that whatever that circus
Triller.
is. Yeah.
Triller.
Oh my gosh.
So real quick, guys, we got to get going here, but I wanted to ask you guys this on that fight. Even though it's an exhibition, let's say Logan pulls it off and beats Mayweather or knocks him out or whatever it may be.
He won't.
Should this? I'm not saying it's going to happen.
101%.
It's staged.
102. No, but let's say if it does happen, right? Should this count? Should this count against Mayweather?
No.
It's exhibition, so no.
Right?
I feel like a lot of people are going to hold it against them.
Everybody will count it.
They've been wanting to hold something against Mayweather. They've been wanting to tarnish his record for so long. So I don't, is it going to go on the Wikipedia? Yeah. Is it going to go on BoxRec or whatever it's called? Right. Probably not. But I'm pretty sure Mayweather's probably it's probably something inside the agreement or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to stand. But whether people want to hold it against him, that's another situation. You can't stop somebody.
Big shout out to Chris when he just chimed in on Facebook. He goes, "You guys rock. We're just hours away from the Lions screwing up our first round pick." Good old Chris win. Paul knocking out Floyd. He's like, nah, not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen, man. I don't think it happens. I think I think it's a little bit of a it's a McGregor Mayweather all over again.
Yeah.
Maybe not as many rounds. It's obviously not gonna go that many rounds, but yeah, Mayweather's still too good.
You got some, Quan?
No.
Oh, because you were holding the mic.
No.
Well, Josh, it was fun having you in the studio,
Yeah,
man. Finally, we got you in
me,
here.
and
We got to get you in again, man. Keep chopping it up. Keep doing your thing.
It's
with
awesome
us
in
as
here. You just
well.
come back and just chill out, watch the games. We got like 6 TVs.
But remember,
over here.
it's past his bedtime.
Oh, right.
But Josh, obviously, everyone
kid's
knows that
still
you
up,
sponsor
but
the
not
show.
him.
We plug you every single week. Everyone knows that. But once again, let everyone know where they can find you, whether it's for their real estate needs or just anything else you got going on, because I know you have a lot more things that you have planned in the future for Joshua LaFon. So let everyone know where they can find you and where they can reach you.
So you can actually find me on Instagram, Facebook. Instagram is at LaFon Joshua. Same thing with Facebook, YouTube, all social media outlets except for Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. Thinking about getting one just for like sports and stuff. But other than that, yeah, it's at LaFon Joshua. You can find me anywhere on there. So you could contact me if you have any questions in regards to like buying, selling, what the market is like, anything like that. You don't have to be obligated to use me at all. I just love giving information in my field. So, contact me, reach out, and that way we could talk, go from there. So
there we go. Joshua LaFon letting you guys know what he's got. If you're looking to buy a house or just got questions or even renting, right? You do that as well?
No, I have a team that does
You
renting.
do, though.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But I have a team that
he's got teams that does everything. So appreciate you, Josh, definitely. Rob, any final words before we get going?
I'm excited for tomorrow. Got the day off specifically, 5 p.m. I'll be watching the draft tomorrow.
I think we should be here just for the third pick of the draft because I want to see what Quan's gonna do.
That'd be kind of interesting. D-Side, don't show up.
I got to decide what TV I'm going to put the draft on.
Which is
See
breakable?
which one I have to shoot. I can't shoot the new one.
Right.
Man. Well, good stuff, man.
The one by
Fun
the
night.
entrance.
Fun night tonight. Duane Colucci joined us, Rampart Racing Sportsbook manager. We greatly appreciate him joining us. Make sure you follow him on all things social media with his podcast, and make sure you go down to Rampart Casino on Friday and Saturday for all your race and sportsbook needs. Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
Got to get going. The wife's on vacation. She's at home, so I got to deal with it for another week.
Deal with it.
Yeah. She's not watching, so it's okay. I can talk. But once again, Dad, Silvio Volonte, definitely love you. Appreciate you. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Happy birthday. Continue living your life. Keep doing you. You are an inspiration to me. You've been working since you were 15. You retired 10 years ago and have not stopped. You still continue to do so. I hope I can get that far in my life. I greatly appreciate you and I love you. With that being said, this was another episode of Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday night, same channel, same time. For Rob G, Quan59, Joshua LaFon, and Zach the intern, I'm Jose V. I'm out. See ya.
See ya.